Fanfic Corner, presented by Jennifer. Nala's Tears, Chapter 18. Okay, if you have not yet seen the previous videos for Nala's Tears, I suggest you go and view those now, as this is a continuation of that story. The tunnels were so dark. Malka led the way while I helped me to stay on his paws. Under paw, the rocks felt so cold, and I could see my breath in the air. In the tunnels, it was hard to judge how much time had passed, but it felt like we'd been wandering forever. Malka, I think Mitsu needs to stop and rest, I called ahead. The golden lion paused and glanced over his shoulder, just in time to see Mitsu collapse. I nosed Mitsu, who just groaned in protest. The broad shape of Malka appeared at my side. His pelt brushed against mine. Is he doing all right? I looked upon my brother with worried eyes. He needs to get back home soon, or I don't know if he'll make it. Mitsu was shivering from the cold, so I settled down beside him in an attempt to share my warmth. When I looked up, my eyes found Malka's. He looked upon Mitsu with a sorrow heavier than shadows. I'm going to scout ahead and see if I can find a way out of here. He turned to leave, and I called after him. Find your way back to us. My voice cracked, and my breath felt cold. I myself was shivering. How long did Mitsu have? Malka disappeared down the tunnel until I couldn't see him anymore. All I heard were the droplets of water upon the stone floor. The world consisted only of darkness and cold. Mitsu still shivered, so I tried to wrap my body around him. I couldn't help feeling that this was my fault. We'll get you home, Mitsu, I spoke softly to him. I wasn't sure if he could hear me, but I felt compelled to apologize. I'm sorry this happened to you. I should have protected you. For Mitsu's shivering body, he spoke quiet, brave words. It's not your fault, Nala. I'm the one that ran right into a landslide. A faint chuckle shook my shoulders. I rested my head across his shoulders. We stayed like that, trying to conserve warmth. Without saying anything, I worried for Malka. What if he got lost?
These tunnels were probably very confusing and expansive. At some point, I must have fallen asleep. Someone was stalking me, and I jerked awake. For a heartbeat, I forgot where I was, but then I remembered. Malka stood over me, his red eyes reflecting in what little light there was. My body felt so cold. I was freezing. "Shh, Michu's sleeping," Malka whispered to me. "Listen, there's light up ahead that I think will lead us to an exit. We've got to get Michu there." "I'll wake him," I whispered back. Then I nosed Michu. "Michu, wake up." His green eyes fluttered open. He looked so weak it made my heart twist. "Did you find a way out?" "Maybe," Malka replied. "Come on, let's get moving." He moved to Michu's other side, and we helped keep him on his paws. The going was slow, but I knew that Malka was right. There was a very faint greenish light in the distance. Michu stumbled a few times, and each time Malka and I helped him up. I worried that he had a broken leg, or worse, a broken rib. The bleeding had stopped, but it had stained his pale fur crimson. "How much farther, Malka?" I wondered out loud. My paws hurt and my body was shaking from supporting Michu. He may be younger than me, but he was at least half my height. "We're almost there," Malka answered. We turned a sharp corner and the amount of light blinded me. The cavern was huge, with a ceiling reaching high overhead. There were cracks in the ground, a green light caused by geysers filling the cave with light. Then I noticed the bones. The ground was littered with them. There were bones from all kinds of animals: zebra, wildebeest, antelope, even hyenas. That's when I noticed the stench. The entire cavern reeked of hyena, and I wrinkled my nose in disgust. "It's a hyena's den," I growled, and became instantly uneasy. The hyenas followed Scar, but if they found us trespassing, they may not be very welcoming. My mind flew back to the last time I was in the elephant graveyard, with Simba. We almost died that day. "We need to leave," Malka agreed. I could see the hair standing along his spine. This place set him on edge too. "Come on." "Leaving so soon?" A voice from the shadows laughed. More laughter joined in, and it echoed off the cave walls. I gasped and stepped closer to Michu and Malka. The hyenas were here. From the shadows emerged Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed. Behind them were many others, all of them watching us with bloodthirsty eyes. Malka stood protectively in front of Michu and me, but I wasn't sure what good it would do. "Let us go," Malka spoke brave words, but his voice wavered. He was scared, and the hyenas knew it. "Scar will hear of this." "Oh, I'm shaking in my fur," Banzai chuckled while he narrowed his eyes at them. The hyenas circled us like the hungry predators they were. Now, Banzai." Shenzi's voice sounded smooth compared to Banzai's. "These ones can't be harmed, or Scar will have our heads. He's got special plans for them." I flattened my ears and growled. What was she talking about? Scar hardly knew that I existed. All he ever paid attention to were Zira, Nuka, and the males. Lionesses meant nothing to him. "Oh, right." The malicious smirk found Banzai's face, revealing sharp teeth. "You're in for a treat, Nala." "What are you talking about?" I growled angrily, moving closer to Michu. Malka whispered to me under his breath. "Don't listen to them, Nala." "No," I snapped at Michu. "I want to know what these great plans are that Scar has in store for me." Shenzi laughed outright. "He didn't tell you? I thought you and Malka were friends, Nala. But what kind of friends keep secrets, eh, Malka?" "Out with it," I snarled in her face. Surprisingly, she flinched. "Oh, feisty," Shenzi giggled. "Well, let's just say that Scar has you under protection until you're mature enough to serve your purpose. What are you talking about? I demanded. It was Bonsai who answered me this time. Zira's barren. Put two and two together. Scar needs an heir, and he's decided to allow you the honor of being its mother. Mother? I choked out as I spun on Malka. You knew about this? Are you supposed to guard me for Scar, huh? To make sure I don't run away? Nala, please. Malka's eyes filled with sorrow. It's not like that. Then explain it to me what it's like, Malka. My tone was colder than the stones beneath my paws. Mitu laid down, clearly exhausted. He needed to get home. Scar promised that if you give him one cub, then you'll be free to be my mate, if you want it, Malka stuttered. My blue eyes filled with fire. You had no right to bargain me off. I thought we were friends. Clearly I was wrong. I turned my back on Malka and looked to Shenzi. Mitu needs to get back to the Pride. The hyenas led the way, and Malka trailed at the end. I couldn't look at him, or even begin to comprehend what this meant. Zira was barren, and Tama was right. Scar would find ways to produce an heir, and apparently I was his solution.